Members will be aware that there has been some media coverage today, prior to this item of business, stating that the deadline for completion of the census will be extended by 4 weeks. This is a significant and important piece of information which members would rightly expect to hear in this chamber first. I have met with the Minister for Parliamentary Business and I have asked for an explanation of how and why it is the case that this information is already in the public domain. The Scottish Government will carry out a thorough investigation and will report back to the Parliament. There is further information in the statement that is not covered in the media reports. I will therefore allow the statement to be delivered in the interests of optimising scrutiny on this subject, which affects every household in the country. But I am sure that members share my dismay, yet again we're using valuable parliamentary time addressing the inappropriate advance sharing of part of a government statement. This being the case, and given the information already publicly available, I will allow the Cabinet Secretary a reduced 5 minutes. The Cabinet Secretary will take questions at the end of his statement, and so there should be no interventions or interruptions. I call on Angus Robertson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. May I begin with a fulsome apology that news of this announcement found its way to the media ahead of this statement. We take this very seriously and have commissioned an internal leak inquiry which will be led by the Scottish Government's Chief Information Security Officer. They will liaise with the lead officials to determine who had access to this information and to check our data systems to see if the source of the breach can be identified through government systems. Census Day in Scotland was the 20th of March 2022, and I am pleased to note that well over 2 million households have already submitted their response. I'd like to extend my thanks to all of those households who provided a response prior to the deadline. Your participation in this once-in-a-decade exercise is hugely appreciated. To date, 77.2% of Scottish households have provided a census return, a substantial figure with everything happening in the world right now. I understand that many people may be dealing with other concerns. Recent world events have caused anxiety for many and have remained a focus for the media, quite rightly, in recent weeks. Closer to home, people are still dealing with the impacts of COVID-19 and the cost of living crisis, and given these challenges, I appreciate another ask of people is difficult. However, I cannot stress enough